With millions of years of history, there's more to the Grand Canyon than meets the eye. If you think there's more to the Grand Canyon than meets the eye, you're not wrong. From the actual age of the Grand Canyon to a rather peculiar route, here are the 13 strangest things ever discovered in the Grand Canyon. If you like this kind of content, subscribe to our channel. It's free. Now, let's get started. Number 13. The real age of the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is one of the best landscapes in the world, and for good reason. Not only is it a stunning piece of nature, but it is also one of the oldest you see. The Grand Canyon is a geological enigma that has puzzled scientists for over a century. Recently, researchers discovered a surprising truth. The Grand Canyon is incredibly old and surprisingly young at the same time. For years, scientists debated whether the canyon was carved out around 70 million years ago, or if it was much older. More recent phenomenon that is around 5 to 6 million years old. Well, it turns out that both are true. The Grand Canyon was not formed in a single event, but through a mosaic of different canyons that were slowly linked together by the mighty Colorado River. While parts of the Grand Canyon, like the eastern segment, are between 15 and 25 million years old, other sections like Marble Canyon and the Western Grand Canyon only started forming around 5 to 6 million years ago, meaning that while some parts were already ancient when dinosaurs roamed the Earth, it was only recently that the Colorado River connected all of these segments together, giving us the Grand Canyon we know today. Using cutting-edge techniques like thermochronology, scientists were able to trace the history of the rocks and discovered that the oldest sections were carved by ancient rivers tens of millions of years ago, while the younger portions were excavated by the Colorado River. More recently, the Grand Canyon has been forming since 70 million years ago, when dinosaurs still roamed the Earth. But the reason we can't find fossils in the Grand Canyon is because new formations have been covering up the formations that the dinosaurs saw. This means that the canyon itself probably didn't form until after the dinosaurs were long gone. Number 12. The terrifying sign that spans the Grand Canyon from rim to rim. Nothing short of an epic challenge, this terrain spanning approximately 24 miles requires descending over 6,000 feet to the base of the canyon and then climbing back up the opposite rim, often with temperatures soaring over 100 degrees Fahrenheit deep in the canyon. The elevation change being one of the most daunting aspects, it is hikers who are faced with grueling changes like the Bright Angel Trail. It is no surprise that this is considered one of the most strenuous hikes in the United States. As if that weren't enough, the Grand Canyon is very unpredictable due to the scorching summer. From the heat to sudden snowstorms in the winter, the Grand Canyon's extreme conditions can quickly turn the adventure into a battle against the elements. Hikers should carefully plan when to go, as mid-October is usually the ideal time due to cooler temperatures. Water availability is another critical factor. Trails do not offer water sources, meaning hikers must bring their own. Perhaps that is why this scary sign makes sense. This sign was seen by a hiker at the Grand Canyon in front of nature. It is better to underestimate yourself than the opposite. If you think you are not ready to conquer, it is better not to go, even if you have just a shred of doubt. Number 11. The oldest person to cross the Grand Canyon. At 92 years old, Alfredo Aliaga did something most people half his age could only dream of. He crossed the Grand Canyon from rim to rim, setting a world record. The 80-foot journey with over 10,000 feet of elevation change is already a grueling challenge, but Alfredo didn't stop hiking steadily for over 21 hours over 2 days in October 2023. Alfredo didn't pursue this endeavor just to set a record after his wife passed away in 2006. He began revisiting the places they had explored together, and the Grand Canyon held a special place in his adventures. Inspired by the previous record holder, Alfredo trained for a year by walking 8 miles a day to prepare for the hike along the way, receiving endless support from fellow hikers who recognized him on the trail and cheered him on. Alfredo attributes his longevity and fitness to a healthy lifestyle he adopted when he was 70, proving that it is never too late to pursue new goals. His 3 pillars to staying healthy are a balanced diet, daily walking, and 8 hours of sleep. Despite his effort, he has not yet succeeded. Alfredo plans to take on even more adventures in the future, including the possibility of climbing other major mountains. Alfredo's story shows that with perseverance and passion, age is just a number. Number 10. A sacrifice for better maps. In 2012, Google took its mapping service to new heights, or more precisely, new depths, by sending a team to the Grand Canyon with specialized backpacks for hikers. These backpacks, equipped with 15 cameras, weighed almost 40 pounds and captured 360 degrees images every 2.5 seconds. As the team hiked the canyon's iconic trails, including the steep Right Angel Trail, this project marked a significant expansion of Google's Street View, which had already mapped millions of miles of roads. But the Grand Canyon was a completely different challenge. There were no streets, just rugged terrain. The team had to hike nearly 10 miles to the Colorado River, navigating the canyon's steep slopes and narrow paths to bring the beauty of this natural wonder to the world. The initiative was part of Google's a broader effort to take Street View off the road and eventually expand the service to places like Mount Everest and the Amazon, all just so people can explore places we can't get to from the comfort of our homes. Number 09. The Grand Canyon from the ISS. In 2017, NASA released an image of the Grand Canyon captured from the International Space Station using the Sally Ride Earth camera operated by a student. This stunning photograph, taken in April and revealed to the public in May, offers an aerial view of one of the most iconic natural wonders. The story behind this photo is far more impressive. The Sally Ride Earth camera, named after the first American woman in space, allows high school students to control the camera remotely, meaning this photo must have had great significance. The Grand Canyon from space looks pretty amazing, stretching 277 miles long and plunging up to 1 mile deep. This landscape is astonishing from any angle, but the view from space emphasizes how this magnificent abyss dominates the surrounding environment. The image shows the Colorado River winding through the depths of the canyon, with its rugged cliffs and vast mesas contrasting with the clouds. The 2017 photograph also ties into a long history of astronauts capturing the Grand Canyon from orbit. NASA even celebrated the centennial of the U.S. National Park Service by assembling a composite image of the canyon using photographs taken from space. If you've ever wondered how small we are in the grand scheme of things, just look at this image of the Grand Canyon from space. It's a reminder of the vastness of the Earth, and sometimes how insignificant our worries are compared to this Earth. Number 08. A threat of uranium contamination. The shocking news of June stunned the nation. The Grand Canyon faces a serious threat. Contamination from uranium mining. A uranium mine located dangerously close to the canyon has already raised the alarm. It has leaked as millions of gallons of toxic water have seeped into the surrounding aquifers. These aquifers directly feed the Colorado River, which provides drinking water to over 25 million people in major cities like Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. This is a problem as the risk of contamination comes from uranium seeping into the groundwater. When uranium is mined, radioactive elements and toxic chemicals can leach into water, especially when mining occurs near faults or aquifers in the Grand Canyon region. This is particularly concerning as water travels through complex geological layers, moving contaminants into deeper aquifers, some of which serve local indigenous communities and park visitors. The study has shown that the hydrology of the area is too complex to confidently predict the water contamination pathways that make uranium mining a ticking time bomb for the environment and human health. Uranium mines of the past have already left scars across the region. Streams near abandoned mines have been found to be radioactively contaminated, leaving hikers and residents unable to use them. Radioactive dust from mining can also become airborne, creating another health risk, especially for nearby communities. Hopefully, the situation will be brought under control before it is too late. Number 7. The Great Basin Rattlesnake. While hiking through the Grand Canyon, you may encounter wildlife, and the snake is one of them. Identified as a Great Basin rattlesnake, it is not something you should avoid. It is found in areas such as Utah, Nevada, and parts of California. This rattlesnake thrives in rocky hillsides, sagebrush thickets, and desert soils. You see, this creature has extraordinary camouflage, meaning you may not have seen it before. Its coloration ranges from pale brown to olive and has irregular dark spots on its back, which helps it blend in perfectly with its surroundings, allowing it to ambush prey such as rodents, birds, and lizards. Not only does its camouflage make it an elusive predator, but it also helps the snake avoid detection from potential threats, including humans. Now, if you think these snakes are aggressively looking for trouble, think again. The Great Basin rattlesnake is generally not aggressive and prefers to avoid conflict when threatened. It relies on its famous rattletail to warn predators or curious hikers. In fact, these snakes prefer to slither rather than bite unless provoked, and although their bites contain venom, deaths are rare with prompt medical treatment, so you should still avoid these animals if you encounter one in the wild. Number 6. A strange insect. Here is another wildlife you can find in the Grand Canyon, and it is one of the strangest out there. This is the Vata megra, a species of blister beetle that calls the Grand Canyon home, known for its vivid red and black markings. These beetles have adapted well to the arid environment and are most often seen in and around the Grand Canyon, particularly on small hardy plants that thrive in dry, rocky terrain. Like other blister beetles, Megra B secretes canin. It secretes a toxic chemical that can cause blistering upon contact with the skin. This chemical is potent enough to harm larger animals, and in some cases has even been known to cause death in livestock if consumed in large quantities through contaminated feed. This potent toxin acts as a powerful deterrent that keeps predators at bay. These beetles are a crucial part of the Grand Canyon ecosystem, feeding on plants and playing their part in the food chain, helping to maintain balance in this unique environment. Next time you hike through the canyon, keep an eye out for this amazing beetle, but remember that it is best admired from a distance. Number 5. The mysterious metal. Found at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. This strange metal was found by a hiker on a trail in the Grand Canyon, and he was stumped as to what it is. Luckily, the internet has answers. It turns out this metal found on Bright Angel Trail is part of the trail maintenance. Bright Angel Trail is one of the most popular hiking trails in the Grand Canyon and offers stunning views as it descends from the south rim to the Colorado River, stretching around 9.5 miles one way. This trail has seen thousands of adventurers tackle its steep switchbacks and elevation loads, but what is often overlooked is the behind-the-scenes work that keeps this trail safe and accessible maintenance by miniature bulldozers. While the idea of a mini bulldozer on a narrow canyon trail may seem out of the question, they are actually responsible for keeping the trail in top condition due to the intense wear and tear from both foot traffic and mule trains. The trail surface can deteriorate quickly. Heavy rains, flash floods, and even the regular movement of mules carrying supplies can erode the trail and make it dangerous. That's where miniature bulldozers come in, particularly in more accessible areas closer to the edge. They are used to move rocks, clear debris, and grade the trail, ensuring that it remains safe for both hikers and mules carrying equipment. Supply mules are a unique feature on the Bright Angel Trail, regularly transporting goods and sometimes people up the steep slopes. Their routes add additional stress to the trail structure, making constant maintenance vital to prevent accidents and preserve the integrity of the trail. Without this heavy machinery, the trail likely becomes unsafe for both hikers and the animals themselves. Number 4. Arizona's Bigfoot. They're not the only living beings in the Grand Canyon. Deep within its desert, supposedly dwells the Mongolian monster that stands over 7 feet tall. This elusive, hairy figure is often compared to Bigfoot. Described as having reddish-brown or black fur with glowing red eyes, the Mongolian monster's appearance is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. But it's not just its appearance. This creature is famously overwhelmingly compared to a mix of dead fish and skunk musk, making encounters even more unsettling. The history of the Mongolian monster dates back over a century, with reports dating back to 1903 describing a monstrous, hairy figure roaming the desert. Stories range from cowboys who encountered the beast during camping trips to modern hikers who claim to have seen it running through the woods. In some tales, it is said to produce eerie, unearthly shrieks at night, adding to its reputation as the creepiest crypt in Arizona. While the Mongolian monster is primarily associated with myth and folklore, its stories have persisted throughout generations. Whether the Mongolian monster is fact or fiction remains a mystery. Number 3. The Wendigo. The Wendigo is a fearsome and haunting figure, deeply rooted in the folklore of the Algonquian-speaking tribes in North America. This terrifying entity is described as an emaciated, skeletal creature with glowing eyes and sharp claws. It is often associated with the brutal winters of the northern forests. In these harsh environments, food shortages sometimes led to acts of cannibalism, and the Wendigo came to symbolize the dire consequences of such desperation. At its most basic, the Wendigo represents a spirit of insatiable hunger. Legend has it that those who resorted to eating human flesh or gave in out of extreme greed and selfishness could transform into Wendigos. The creature is said to grow with each victim it consumes, but is never physically satisfied. Wendigos are depicted as imposing figures, often standing over 15 feet tall with decaying grayish skin. Some legends describe them with antlers or a deer's head, further emphasizing their monstrous, otherworldly nature. These creatures also possess incredible strengths, speed, and heightened senses, making them formidable predators in the forests of the Great Lakes and beyond. Beyond their physical terror, the Wendigo holds deep cultural significance, serving as a warning symbol against greed, gluttony, and moral decay. During troubled times, the fear of becoming a Wendigo kept communities focused on cooperation and survival. The Wendigo has also made its way into modern pop culture, appearing in books, movies, and video games as a monstrous embodiment of hunger and primal fear. Number 2. The Thunderbird, the mythical creature of North America. The Thunderbird is one of the most inspiring creatures in Native American mythology, known in various tribes from the Pacific Northwest to the Great Plains, described as a colossal bird. The Thunderbird's wings are said to streak across the skies, creating thunder with each powerful flap. While lightning shoots out of its eyes or beak, its presence in the skies was seen as a harbinger of storms that often brought much-needed rain to Earth. This mythical creature was revealed not only for its control over the natural elements, but also for its role as a protector of humans against evil spirits and maintaining the balance of nature. Many Native American cultures, including the Lakota, Oji, and Alangan tribes, tell stories of the Thunderbird as a guardian who vanquishes malevolent forces. In some tales, it even helped shape the earth by creating mountains and valleys. The image of the Thunderbird also appears commonly in Native American art, especially on totem poles, insignia, and pottery. Today, the legend of the Thunderbird continues to inspire modern interpretations in pop culture, from literature to film. Number 01. U.S. Route 666. If you are looking for a thrilling experience near the Grand Canyon, you might be interested in U.S. Route 666. This road has earned a notorious reputation for both its treacherous conditions and mysterious legends. Established in 1926 as the Six Foothills, the famous Route 66 was given the numerical designation 666. A number associated with a mark of the beast from the Bible's Book of Revelations, which immediately gave rise to superstitions and legends that the road was filled with strange beings. They only fueled the darkness of the highway. It seemed that belief infused truth into the terrifying legends that spread throughout New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. This 200 m stretch of road wound its way through desolate desert landscapes and sacred Native American lands as early reports from Shiprock claimed that Route 666 was particularly dangerous with higher than average levels, accidents and fatal crashes causing many to believe the road was cursed. They often recounted spooky encounters, such as the sight of hellhounds running alongside cars or haunted semi-trucks attempting to run vehicles off the road. The myth surrounding Route 666 didn't stop there, with some drivers reporting strange disappearances, vanishing without a trace, or turning up hours later with no memory of how they got to their destination. One of the most famous legends is that of a ghostly girl in a white dress who said she appeared on the side of the road before vanishing into thin air. Due to public pressure and its sinister reputation, Route 666 was rebranded as US Route 491 in 2003. But despite the change, stories of strange occurrences along the route persist. We've reached the end of this video. Tell us what you think in the comments box. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss future videos like this one. See you next time. See.